If Deku was an Arcosian, or had the abilities of an Arcosian, how would this affect my hero going forward? First of all, my brethren, I'm going to have to show you the next what ifs I'll be doing. So after this what if, I'll be posting what if Deku had Meliodas' assault mode, or something like it. And he'll only have the assault mode and the abilities that come with it. He won't have full counter or any other of Meliodas' magical attacks. But yeah, and then I'll be doing what if Naruto had Sunshine, which I think could be pretty interesting. Oh god. Send help. Anyway. God. Anyway, our boy Deku, his father is a convicted felon. He's put in put in a special prison. Dude. Oh god, I can barely talk. Due to his past crimes. First of all, Deku's father is he's known as King Cold, but Deku's father runs the biggest underground villain thing ever. Even All For One's like, I don't want to get into a tuffle with this guy, basically. Although I'm gonna be nerfing Deku's race, but I'm gonna be nerfing Deku's father. Deku himself, he will be pretty overpowered due to all the abilities that come with being an Arcosian. So yeah, Deku's father, runs one of the biggest underground, I'm gonna say drug thing. Well, yeah, drugs, slaves, the usual. Basically, he does a lot of illegal stuff. He even teamed up with All For One to try to kill All Might, which was one of the biggest crimes. So yeah, and he is also wanted from all over the world due to the fact that my dude destroyed an entire small country. So yeah, his father was one of the most wanted criminals in the entire world. Wanted for human trafficking and drugs selling, attempted murder on All Might, and he destroyed a small country. Although, when he destroyed it, he basically just fired a supernova, which will be one of Deku's abilities. By small country, I mean not country, but state. I mean by I'm gonna say it's the size of Minnesota City, basically. Minnesota, what was it? Twin City. Basically, it's that size. He destroyed that and killed lots of people. So Deku's father was wanted. He got 127 consecutive, I can't even pronounce the word, consecutive life sentences. But basically, I'm pretty sure that means a little bit over 100 years in prison. Which Deku's father, he has an extended lifespan, so he's like, I'll do my time as a man, get out, and then cause some more havoc, basically. So, the lifespan for this type of transformation / emitter quirk, the reason why it's a transformation quirk is the Arcosian transformations and emitter, because he can fire beams from his fingers, or he can turn it into one massive attack. So people were like, he's finally away. And then there was publicity thrown towards the Inko and the newly born Izuku Midoriya. And yeah, their life has basically been living hell due to the fact that Inko can't keep a job, due to people firing her or just playing with her, basically. And Deku, he's just treated terribly growing up. This should be a villain what if, but nah. I'm gonna say that yes, Deku does have an older brother, Cooler, and Deku's name in this is Freezer for some reason. So he's basically, actually no, I'm gonna say he's Chilled, because I like that name. So yeah, Deku's name in this is Chilled. Hold on. No, his name will be Frost. So Deku has two older brothers. One, the oldest, Cooler, who has taken over the role of basically leading. I'm gonna say it's called the Frieza, not Frieza, but the Cooler Force or some shit. Then there is his second oldest brother, Chilled, who basically runs his own little small gang. And then there is Deku. Which Deku's personality in this is basically he basically like sadist. He enjoys hurting people. He enjoys hurting people slash making their lives living hell. The only reason why he's gonna become a hero is because he wants to pull some pull some hate and basically just make his mom's life better. And it isn't getting any better due to the fact that there are two other of his stupid little brothers running around. I don't have a good Frieza impression, okay, so leave me alone. So, there are his two other idiotic brothers running around, ruining their mother's reputation. Which Inko's quirk in this is telekinesis, which Deku got it, which his quirk multiplied her, well, the quirk that he got from her like 100 times, so it's way better. So yeah, he just wants to make his mom's life better. The only reason why they're still alive is because the cooler is lending them money or giving them money. So yeah, Dicky's like, although I don't want to, I'm only gonna become a hero so I can pull some shut up, okay? It's not funny. So I can pull some of the hate from his mom, basically. Either way, Deku would have just became a villain, but for sake, he's only becoming a hero for his mom, which he was raised by Inko, so he didn't adopt an evil type of, basically an evil, he didn't grow up like Frieza. He was basically grew up to destroy and conquer planets. So our boy, Deku, he is raised by Inko, who told him that he should never use his abilities to harm someone, even if they bring harm to us. So Deku's like, I don't get that rule. And when Deku goes to preschool, he is more or less treated like trash from the teachers, and basically called a villain from the students. Which Deku, he put them in their place real fast. Because Deku had his quirk the moment he was born. And yeah, he is in his first form. He looks exactly like first form Frieza. So Deku, he basically beat up Bakugo yeah, he basically, I'm gonna say not beat up, but he made Bakugo seem like a wimp. I'm gonna say when Bakugo woke in his quirk, he started getting big, and he rushed at Deku, which Deku used his telekinesis to lift Bakugo, or to push Bakugo back to the ground, as Deku went over there and stepped on his head. And he looked over to Bakugo's grunts, or lackeys, and he's like, are you really working for such a weakling? And he's like, you would be a lot more popular if you followed me around. And then they're like, I guess, as they would leave Bakugo and become Deku's lackey. So yeah, that's how it is. So over Deku's course of growing up, Bakugo has continuously tried to beat Deku. And Deku's like, yeah, get out of here, you basically classless, you have no class, basically. And Deku does shoot death beams at Bakugo, but less lethal versions. Though he can totally make him as lethal as he wants. But he only shoots in, enough to rattle someone's bone, basically. Or just to hit the bone. So he shoots death beams at Bakugo just for fun. Like, when Bakugo picks fights, either way, Deku's either neutral or just doesn't care. So, yeah. And if people are messing with him, he either just spits at him or just basically pushes them away the freaking telekinesis, which his personality is getting a lot more mature, because Inko is always on his ass every time the school calls to home, which Deku has been expelled many times, even if it was self-defense, due to the massive amount of hate that he's getting. So yeah, Deku, he likes to torture people, basically. But, yeah. He does not have a good relationship with either of his brothers. So, I'm gonna just say that this is part 1. So, our boy Deku, it's the end of middle school now. So, the teacher's like, I heard that, whatever. I know you all want to go to UA anyway. So, he tosses the papers in the air, and he's like, yeah. And he looks at one of them, he's like, he just starts stuttering. He's like, Frost, I heard, I see that you want to go to UA. And Bakugo's like, what? And Frost is like, yeah, of course I want to go to UA. And he slams his feet, which Deku doesn't wear shoes in this, and he does, in fact, have a peen. He slams his foot on the table, and he's like, I'll be the best damn hero in this entire classroom. No, in the entire world. And then the class, they're like, looking at him. I'm gonna say one of them laughs, and Deku looks over at him, and the guy, he stops immediately, and Deku's like, as he gives him a little smile, and that guy's like, which Deku has adopted the name, the Cold Emperor, basically. So Deku, he catches this guy after school. Him and his, basically his lackeys, which have been following him since kindergarten. He's like, I heard you, well, I see that it was funny that that I wanted to become a hero. Which his lackeys, their quirks have gotten stronger being around Deku. They've gotten stronger in general due to the fact that Deku uses them as punching bags. So yeah. These two will be Nero and Kaiba, so you'll be seeing them. They're not Class 1A material, but they're Class 1B, so yeah. Deku, he's like, alright, teach this bastard a lesson. As they start to beat the shit out of this guy. Which Bakugo, he doesn't really care about saving this guy. He just want to stop Deku, basically. So he's like, yo, Deku! As Bakugo comes up with his new lackeys. He's like, that's enough. And I heard that you wanted to go to the UA. You should just drop out, because there's no way they're going to let someone like you let someone with a background like yours in. And Deku's like, what? I've done nothing wrong. And then they're like, you got expelled from many high schools. And then he's like, it was unfair. It was unjust, basically. And Bakugo's like, yeah, whatever. And Deku's like, shut up. Actually, I'm gonna say that Bakugo's like, you're just like your father. And Deku's like, shut up. As he basically, Deku's abilities, he does have super speed. No, he doesn't have super strength. But yeah, he only has super speed. And yeah, his strength isn't multiplied, but basically the movement he makes, it basically it seems like it increases his strength, or that he has super strength, but it's just Deku basically moving super fast, building up momentum just to punch you, basically. So Deku has super speed, he has the ability to shoot energy or create energy, basically, and he can transform. Also, his tail, he uses it as a weapon as well. So our boy Deku launches at Bakugo, and Bakugo's like, shit. As he dodges Deku's, I'm gonna say kick, because he's fought Deku thousands of times, and he knows that Deku always follows up with a kick, because he studies Deku. Deku's like, oh? As then, I'm gonna say that Deku, he jumps and goes for another kick, which Deku does study in martial arts. He studies lots of them just for fun, and so he can beat up the instructors and make them look stupid. So yeah, Deku goes for another kick, a double kick, and that one fails, because Bakugo dodges that one. And then Deku's like, what? As Bakugo's like, yeah, he's like, you never change, you're always going for the same moves over and over again. As Bakugo goes for an explosion towards Deku, and this is one of Bakugo's massive explosions. I'm gonna say that they're as strong as Season 3 Bakugo, due to him training just so he could beat up Deku. So Deku's like, yeah, right. As he uses his tail to spring himself up, and he dodges the explosion. So, the explosion, Deku dodges the explosion. Not so much for his lackeys and the kid that they were jumping. So yeah, those two get injured. And Deku looks back at them, he's like, huh, alright. Kind of pathetic. As Bakugo's like, what? You called your own people pathetic. And Deku looks over at Bakugo. He's like, are you any better? I recall you saying that everyone in this school was a B-lister, I might say. As Deku's like, as he starts to laugh. And he looks over at Bakugo, and he shoots a death beam. And this death beam hits Bakugo in this, basically the shoulder, dislocating it. Bakugo's like, shit. As Deku rushes towards Bakugo, and he's laughing his ho head ass, Santa Claus looking ass. But yeah, so Deku goes for a punch. which it hits Bakugo in his stomach. This is first form Deku. Imagine final form Deku against Bakugo. It wouldn't even be a fair fight. So Deku punches Bakugo in the stomach, and he grabs him with his tail. So Bakugo is basically just ragdolled right now. Deku, he slams Bakugo up against the wall. And he tells his lackeys to get up, which they do. And he's like, alright, he hurt you, didn't he? So why don't you get some of your self-defense and beat him, will you? And then the other guys, Kiba and Nero, start to laugh as they rush at Bakugo. Bakugo is helpless against them due to the fact one of his arms is dislocated and he got punched in the stomach. So I'm saying Bakugo's lackeys run up on them, and Deku's like, no. And he puts up all 5 of his fingers and he shoots them with the death beams. They all fall out. They're like, nah, that was too much pain. They're like, how the fucking Bakugo stand these things? Well, as they're all crying, basically. And Deku's like, pathetic. As he throws Bakugo, because Nero and Kaiba have been beating up Bakugo. And Deku's like, wow. You are pathetic. But he's like, I do have to admit, for a monkey, you have improved, basically, as he walks away from Bakugo. His lackeys, Kiba and Nero, follow after him. And he's like, alright, you two. I've been wanting to test out something new. And they're like, what? As Deku, he looks at him with a smile, and he's like, are you guys ready to get your pain tolerance up? As they look at him, they're like, shit. As Deku's like, I'm just kidding. I've got something better to do. As he walks away from them. So our boy Deku arrives home, which is basically in poverty. So he arrives home. He looks at his mom, which his mom, she is just sitting on the couch. Deku's like, I'm home. As Inko's like, hello, honey. Food's on the table. Deku's like, right. As he goes to eat his food, and he goes upstairs. Which Deku, he's way too focused on his Emperor Smic to actually show his true feelings. Which Deku he does have those tendencies to hurt people or to basically torture them. But it's not his fault. It was just the way that he was raised and the way that people treated him while he grew up. So yeah. I guess Deku was just caught in the crossfire of what his brothers and his father did. So yeah, our boy Deku's like, alright, what do I do for the 10 months? As he's like, I guess I could he basically just lays down. He's like, I guess I can just do nothing. Because he's too cocky and he doesn't think that anyone could ever best him. So our boy Deku, he sits down and that's what happens. He just lays there, being lazy, does a little bit of work, studies. Yeah, that's just him for the 10 months. Bakugo, on the other hand, does get one for all. So our boy Bakugo accepted at the moment that All Might said that I can pass on my power. He's like, I can pass on my power. And Bakugo's like, yeah, I want it. And then he's like, well, what? Hold on, I'm going to test something out. So Bakugo's like, All Might's like, I want to pass on my power. I want it. Basically, that's how it works. That's how our boy Bakugo was. So, yeah. The 10 months of training is over. And our boy Deku is walking to the gates of UA. And then there are people there who notice him. Which Deku is wearing, I'm going to say, a green tracksuit. And Deku is small. He's on the small side. So, people do notice him. And they're like, is that the... And Deku looks at them. He's like, oh. As they just be quiet immediately. Deku's walking in. He bumps into Uraka. And she falls to the ground. And Deku looks at her. He's like, oh, my bad. Sorry, I did not see you there. As Uraka would go for a hand. Deku would look at her. He would look at her hand. As he would walk away. And our boy Bakugo would walk up behind him. And he would grab Uraka's hand and pull her up. And then Uraka's like, well, what's with that guy? And Bakugo's like, don't worry. I've known him for Well, ever since we were children, basically. And she's like, I hope he fails. And then Baku looks at her and he's like, yeah, that's not happening. As then he would walk away. So, yeah. Deku gets in. He passes the test. Basically, yeah, he just passes the test. So our boy Deku, I'm not going to tell you how much power that he can access at this moment, but yeah. So Deku is inside of, the robot test. So people are looking at him, and the teachers do notice him. They're like, isn't he, he looks just like King Cold, basically. As the teachers are like, do you think that he's his son or one of his sons? And then I'm going to say, like, Aizawa was like, I heard that he had 3. I'm still chasing down the older one. And, yeah. So, I'm saying Nezu's like, they're like, Nezu, are you really going to let this guy in? And Nezu's like, we accept everyone. And then they're like, what? And then Deku's like, and Nezu's like, it doesn't matter what past or background they have. We accept everyone, as he looks at them. And they're like, right. Almost not. He's like, because he already knew about Deku from Bakugo. And when he asked him why he's training so hard. And, yeah, so, yeah. Our boy Deku, he is walking into UA. Well, not UA. Oh my god, I'm on crack. But the gates are like opening as President Mike is talking, and Deku, he basically sprints, breaking through the metal door, and he starts running towards robots, which he starts to shoot them. And then President Mike's like, "Whoa, what?" And they're like, "You can't let him do this." And then he's like, I actually can. And they're like, why? Because he's the son of King Cold, you want to get King Cold mad? And then he's like, of course not. I mean, there is no timer in a real battle, or there ain't no countdown in a real fight. And they're like, shit, as they start to run through the door. Which Deku, he's killing or destroying all the robots. And I'm going to say that the 0, yeah, everyone's getting their points. Deku collected a lot of them. So, I almost coughed again, sorry. The 0-pointer comes, which Uraka does get caught by it. Deku looks at Uraka again, and he's like, oh, it's her. Alright. As he looks over at the 0-pointer, Deku puts his finger in the air as he's sitting on a roof as a gigantic, not gigantic, but a semi-huge supernova appears. Which they're like, is that? And they're all worried about what the devastation could be, as Deku throws it at the robot, which the robot gets hit by it and it flies back as it lands on the ground. And Deku, he basically snaps as it starts to explode. It's a controlled explosion. So then Deku's standing on the roof now, and he's like, ho 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 ho, as he's laughing. He's like, what great fireworks! As everyone's looking at him, they're like, this guy is crazy. Ida looked at Deku, and he's like, yeah, that's just wow, okay. As the test is over, Uraka looks over at Deku, and Deku looks over at her. He's like, as he walks away from her. Going into just basically jumping off. He does have the ability to fly. He just lifts himself with his telekinesis and he flies off. So our boy Deku lands at home, where he spends his week not training, but just sitting there. He's not worried about not getting in. The only reason why he's worried is the fact that those stupid heroes won't accept me just because I'm the son of some villain. As he gets the note and he's like, I'm actually in. Alright, whatever. As he goes to UA. Our boy gets into the class as he gets there late. So Aizawa's already talking as Deku kicks the door in. And he's like, well, hello there. Allow me to introduce myself. As he gets into the Frieza stance with his hands out, he's like, I am Frost. As I'm going to have to end the video off here. I hope you enjoy. And if you want a part 2 to this, you guys need to hit the like goal of 30 likes. And goodbye.